Hello, good evening, everybody. I am just starting up all the last little bits and pieces. I had some fun before starting the stream. Earlier today, while fiddling around on YouTube, I discovered that YouTube has got a brand new live dashboard. And what I didn't know was they also changed the stream key. So I started the stream in time, everything worked fine, but the stream key changed. So I had to quickly get OBS in order and all the other stories running. And here we are now. So welcome. This is Athens, and we are going to fly to the new Istanbul airport. And so there's a couple of things that I had to change and explain. LTFM is not in the default database. I had to manually add that into the default database so we can use it. I tested it yesterday, so I hope everything is in order for us to use it in the Zibo now again. And we can quickly start the Zibo. And I've got a little surprise to show you. I actually got a new livery from Jacques yesterday. And so this is going to be the first flight in the new skin. And I just want to say thank you to Jacques for that as well. Thank you very much. So while we are waiting there, I'm just going to quickly continue with the rest of my setups. Hey Norman, welcome to the stream. Nice to have you here. I see I still have a bit of a communication gap between Slobs, the Streamlabs OBS, and YouTube. That's not good. It's still looking at the wrong place for some reason. My chat is not going to the right place, so I'm gonna have to use chatbot for now. Not good. I'm going to worry about that a little bit later on, so let me get my chat in place and get going with the stream. Concentrate on our own stuff. So Norman, I hope you had a good Sunday so far. Yeah, don't worry about it. It's it's a change in servers. So I made the change in slobs and I restarted the thing. Then at least I was able to talk to YouTube. So the stream's coming through. But in slobs there is also a chat facility. And I'm not sure if I have any control over the chat facility because that's still pointing to the old Ingress servers. So there's a total discommunication between the chat and everything. So it's kind of tricky, but we'll get there. Excellent. Hello, Paul, and welcome to the stream, buddy. Hey, Yoki. That looks better. So, guys, have a look here. Look at this new livery that I received. Jacques surprised me with this yesterday again. I love Easter eggs like this. This is a good gift. So we're gonna look a bit different in the skies now. Yeah, thank you. I think so too. It's very, very lovely. See now, all my screens are now confusing me. There's now too many things that need to move and be visible at the same time, and I'm not getting the joy from the chat. Oh goodness. This is interesting. Let me show you what I'm seeing and get you into the picture there. So departure 03 right, Kepi 1 Echo will be our departure. I presume it's that one. No, good. That's it. And the arrival is going to be 35 right. We're going to use the RNAV arrival for 35 right. That's going to be the primary option. We're going to allow for the glide slope there. And then we're going to take that little Inbay 1 Alpha. That's the one. That's the star. So let's look at our Navigraph charts. See what they tell us. Right, so it will be that one. We zoom in, that is going to be our last point before we actually hit our approach. Okay. Okay, guys, if things go a bit slower, it's just because I'm having to constantly now find the windows that I'm supposed to click on. Apologies for that. Well, apart from that extra little line in there, that seems to be exactly what the chart is telling me. Now, this is a crazy approach, or star at least. Zigzag, zigzag, and then you go in like a little snake. This is one of the reasons I chose this particular approach, because I want to see what happens there. I love to know whether we're going to go into like a valley, or what on earth is forcing the guys to design a star like that. I'd love to know. Right, I just want to check that 1 point altitude on that one last point. Right, 3000, so that's fine. That's 100%. This is gonna be fun. Phil, you are welcome. Sinker, welcome, buddy. Right, now I'm moving my chat to the other window again. Let's see how far we get now. Oh. Right, so let's just double check our weights again and take off for 66.4. That's perfect. Right, the trip is 2.8 tons. Reserves 1.1. Cost index 20. And we're gonna do 350. So that's the average winds, and we're going to have an ISA deviation of 0. Transition altitude 9000, that's perfect. And Top Cat tells us D-rate to take off. We can do a steady climb. In fact, let's do a middle climb. Let's climb 1 and then do 35 on the assumed temperature. That's perfect. Right, so let's look at the weather quickly. We have a 050 at 06. And I worked this out a little while before the stream. We have up a 0.2 on the slope. And the heading of that runway is easy enough to get from the charts. caps lock there. It happens when I have to talk on OBS. I need to press caps lock, so I tend to not pay attention if it's on or not. I'm not shouting at you, by the way. And that's perfect.
Lima, Golf, Alpha, Victor, airport information, Echo 1620, Zulu, weather, wind 045, at 6, visibility 10,000, sky clear, temperature 14, dew point 3, QNH 1023, advise on initial contact that you have information, Echo. Lima.
Three, one.
And enjoy the ride. Again, welcome aboard.
We cannot fly this bird if Jorge is not speaking to the customers. It needs to be that way, so let's do it again.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the
There
flight
we
deck,
go.
welcome aboard our flight today. We're wrapping up the final paperwork here to get you on your way momentarily. I want to thank you so much for your company and business. We invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Again, welcome aboard.
Full. Ah, don't worry. We all make mistakes. I wish I could tell you all the stuff that happened today, but unfortunately I can't disclose too much. We had fun behind the scenes. I tell you, it was a day and a half, and you guys are all waiting for stuff to get done and a new Zibo release, and oh goodness, we had a good time, but it was one of those days. So you're not the only guy. Norman, that's a standard practice for me. I always do it. I make sure that the glide slope is on because I don't want to get to a point where the aircraft bugs out before time. As we talk through the story, I'll run through a couple of things with you, but basically what I want to do is I want this aircraft to go down to minimums, at least on the RNAV. So yeah, in short. Well, one has to make a mistake at least 3 times, you know, so that you can really see that you made a mistake. You know, it comes with experience that you learn not to do something again. Right, where are we now? We've done all of this. That's all done. That's all set up, trim. Right, so we're going to leave a little bit of room there. Let's just change the squawk code a little bit. And then we can start our overhead. Norman, no. ILS is one thing, an IAN approach is a totally different thing. So what we are going to do on the RNAV is I'm actually going to see if it will allow us to do a proper IAN approach. Otherwise, we'll just do the normal RNAV. But either way, glide slope, having that on gives us LNAV, VNAV down to minimums. Yes, Paul, that is the trick, you know. You have to realize that at some point in time, but I think we all do. We all do. It's just something interesting that happens from time to time. All right, let's run through some of these checks. And I need to just get that altitude quickly. 325, so we can go to 300. There we go. Let us start our APU. And do the ground services. Better push back.
Round to cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
Okay, I'm just waiting for the APU now. While we're doing that, let's have another look at this beauty.
Ground to cockpit, tow is driving
Yes,
up.
Paul, this is an awesome livery. Jacques really went above and beyond this time, eh?
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
I see the scenery's got a little pushback truck right there under the aircraft. Oh, that's the default one. I'm not sure. He's obviously not supposed to be there. Looks weird. Full, no. No, not ready yet. The air starter should be finished. If it's not finished already, it should be finished within the hour.
Flight attendants prepare for departure, cross check and all call.
But the
So
airsteer,
connected
that's
and bypass pin inserted.
still
Release
part of
parking
the
brake.
planning.
All right, we've got everyone strapped in. Give us a ring if you need anything.
Phil, yeah, it's not working. Remember, there are two different versions of the Zibo. There's the developer version and then there's the public version. It worked pretty well in the developer version. Something went wrong in the porting to get it to the public version. But when I talk about the actual e-starter now, this is part of the fun we had today. It looks amazing. I want to tell you that. You guys are going to be very impressed. And the modeling is what I was talking about, should be done. If it's not done already, within the hour it should be done. Cloudybox was really working very hard on that thing. So yeah, and then as far as I know, the code has been fixed for the public side as well, and then it should all work together in the next release. We hope. Yeah, Norman, well, Cloudy made the actual unit that we are all going to see, the actual thing. You know, if you look at the GPU, for instance, I mean the A starter, you see that's your GPU over there. Cloudy obviously had to make one of these units, you know, that would then pretend to be the A start unit. So that's what I was referring to, that should be done shortly. Yeah, you must check it now. I mean, when I left him half an hour ago, or an hour ago, that thing was as in almost perfect. Fantastic. I mean, I'm excited. I can't wait for getting it into the sun. Right, okay, so we are done. Everybody's happy. Let's push.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
It is. I want to tell you, I asked him, he said to me, it's taken him 3 years to learn how to use all the programs. Because it's not just one program, you know, you start in Blender and then you go to the next one and the next one and the next one, and each one has got a specific function, and it doesn't sit in anybody's pants to just rock up and say, listen, here I am, I'm going to do it. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to struggle. And kudos to him, he knows how to do it, you know, he spent the time, and we love him for it. So, and you'll see when it comes now with all the goodies and stuff, you know, that is put on there. It's amazing. Guys, when he releases the unit, can I just ask you guys this, between us couple of guys sitting here? I'm thinking of just starting a thank you thread on the, you know, post on the Facebook group. If you guys can just all come say thank you as well, because I don't think, until I saw the effort that went in there, I thought to myself, you know, it's hard work and all, but I'd never realized the amount of work, the hundreds of hours it needs to go in something so simple. It is amazing. If you guys can all just chirp in there and just say thanks to him when he puts it up for us.
Complete. Set parking brake. Disconnecting tow. Stand by. Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed.
Thanks,
Hand signal
guys.
will
That
be on the
will mean
right.
a
We'll
lot to
see you
me
next
and
time,
to you
and have a great
specifically.
flight.
Thank you for the pin. Let's quickly check our controls. Left, right, up, down, and do that other thing. Alright, everything else looks fine. Okay, let's go fly, guys. Let's go. I'm very much looking forward to this trip. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it on stream the way I'm going to see it. Obviously, you'll get some impression, but one of the mods that I've loaded into my simulator is now the extended night lights. And this is also why I chose this flight, and it's obviously real time of day now, so we're going to see a bit of lights. And I want to tell you, in the tests that I did after loading it, just looking around, the extended night lights has sure changed the simulator of mine very much, and I'm looking forward to showing you guys that as well. And if it works, then I'll highly recommend you guys to actually grab yourself a copy as well.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Alright, let's have one last look from the outside.
Approaching 03 right. On runway 03 right.
Wow, that looks amazing with this runway contours on. Wow.
80 knots.
D1.
E18.
Command A, gear down and off, and auto brake, RTO off. Wow, what a sight, eh guys? Look at this. Look at this. Oh, yes, 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 I see that. Yeah. So what do you guys think of that? That is amazing, eh? Just like I said. I was concentrating way too much on setting up my stream here, so I never saw that it came on. Thank you for telling us. I would have noticed that much later now. Yeah, same. William. Hello. William. Yeah, now I can hear you. We are live on air, eh? We are live on air, so just remember that. Yeah, fantastic. Nice to have you on board, yeah? Uh, 100%, yeah, no, much appreciated. I'm also looking at the pictures of the air start unit. I took a couple of sorry, I'm live on YouTube. Paul, yes, yeah, this is also that I made myself, and there you guys can see those extended lights. I mean, that is just spectacular. So I want to say I'd love to recommend this to you guys, man. This is awesome. Wow, look at that picture.
Yeah, I can also confirm that extended night lighting really enhances the simulator experience in general, especially during night flying or when the sun starts to go down, or even when it starts to go up. It's just really fun to fly, so
Yeah.
it's really worth waking up.
Yeah, so just another note, when you go to download the extended night lights, it's quite a bit of a download because it's broken up into the whole world and in different sections. Please note that the guy recommends you use the Tom Knudsen night lights as well, which is what I am using, because that gives you a two-layer approach to the night lighting. So you get the fancy lights right by the aircraft, and then the extended ones off in the distance, obviously. Makes for a wonderful combination. Wow.
Yeah, it definitely is an addition to what X-Plane lacked in before.
Oh yeah.
Right now it's just really enjoyable to fly at night,
For sure.
especially for me personally. I usually fly in the real world timings on the sim, so that makes it really...
Yeah, full. This is amazing, man.
Yeah, and especially on areas like this, it just really makes a difference.
Yeah, very much.
But it is also very recommended if you are the kind of person that flies over cities a lot.
Yeah.
You would really want.
But look, even at the author, I mean, this is just the right time of day. It's like us flying in Cape Town last night. I mean, it was just the right time of day. The ambience, the whole look and feel, everything is just, it's magical, man. Look at
Yeah,
this.
and may I ask, are you using any shaders or is this just
X-Vision. No, this is X-Vision. I'm using the Vivid preset, if that makes any sense to you guys. But yeah, that's all I use.
makes it look great, especially the way the sun glares onto the water.
Yeah. The water
Phil
is...
also,
Sorry, William?
Phil also pointed out in your chat, he says, oh well, the sunset on the water, I couldn't agree more.
Exactly. Guys, by the way, I've got a little Lua script for the water. The previous one that I had killed my FPS badly, so I'm testing this one. This is the first flight over water with the Zibo with this plugin. It's called Beautiful Water, so if you search for it on the explain.org or via Google and you type explain space Beautiful Water, this is the Lua script that I'm using at this moment. Yeah, I'm getting almost 50 frames here, so I'm happy. It seems to work now.
Have you used the one from FS Enhancer before?
Yes, but it killed my frame rates completely.
It quite looks, or at least I see a difference when you're using this one in contrary with the one I use for FSE.
Yeah, I know there's
So I
a
might
big
give it a try.
difference. Yeah, there's a big difference. I'm waiting for FSE 06 to come out. That will probably be payware. I've spoken to Enrico a couple of times, the guy who creates it, in terms of other things and so on. He's a real nice guy, by the way. And I can't wait to test all of that now. But we've had a chat about compatibilities and things a couple of times, and he's always very helpful. Very, very nice guy to chat with. Wow, I'm just loving this. Guys, I hope you like what you see. I mean, this is, wow, spectacular.
And you're also doing a beautiful route, which gives you a really nice view on this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me quickly just get all my screens up in the right place. I want to show you guys the route quickly. So there is Navigraph, and that's the route that we are taking. Obviously we're down here by the little aircraft marker. Come on. According to the flight plan, it's about an hour and 20 minutes to get from point A to point B. So it's not a long flight. I know, especially for streams, I don't like to do too long flights because it gets boring and all the other things. And data usage is a big problem. Somebody mentioned to me today he'd love to watch and so on, and we started talking about data usage, if that's a problem. Sorry guys. I'll try and keep it as short and sweet as I can, you know, while making it fun in the process.
The route seems very fine. I mean, it's basically straightforward with like two slight turns and then your approach into...
No. Hang on. Let me show you this. The part of the fun, William, is doing this approach. Look, I'm going to show you now. Ha! Check this. So we're going to come in here from the bottom. Then we're going to start this whole zigzag, whole flight route up and down, left and right, and then from there on go into land. But I mean, it's up, right, down, you know. So this is fun. Gonna be fun, I think. Hope.
Yeah, I can see it now. It looks very nice, to be honest with you. I'm not sure if they would have some kind of a shortcut maybe in between, because to me, you could basically do one small shortcut from Fox Mike 706 to, was it F-bit or something?
Yeah,
It would seem very reasonable.
Yeah, true. Look, I mean, I think in real world the ATC will probably take the opportunity to give you a direct to. But as there are no ATC here, we're just going to fly the route. What I'm interested in finding out is to know whether there is like a valley that we fly in, or if there is like cities or stuff that we have to avoid for noise abatement or something like that, because nobody works a route out to be up and down, left and right like this, without a good reason.
Exactly. Now, if you see that the altitude difference I saw from 9,000 to 4,000 feet, I would think of maybe terraining the area. I'm not too familiar with the area myself,
me neither.
so
That's what we're going to find out now. What is it? What prompted them to do this? If Senker comes back a little later on, he'll tell us, because he's from the area and he's the guy who put me on to the designer of LTFM. I actually spoke to the developer who made the scenery. We are friends on Facebook now. And he was telling me earlier that there's a new version coming out and all kinds of happiness going to happen shortly. Wow, look at this picture. Wow. I'm just taking screenshots as I'm talking as well. So maybe he must give us a bit of background if he can, to tell us why they would think it's a good idea to do this.
I see Phil talking about thinking of trying ortho for X-plane, maybe a couple of other announcements. He says he has plenty of memory now, so I assume RAM for his GTX 1060, and he has an i5. So if I can add something to that, Phil, I think your setup in general should run it fine. Just look at maybe the zoom level. The zoom level of the ortho tiles will make a difference in how much gigs you're using to save it. So we're talking about hard drive or SSD here. But in general, if I'm correct, ortho scenery would give you an FPS boost actually.
Yes, yeah. Okay, so let me start with Paul then. Paul, I'm happy and glad that you enjoy it with me. This is really beautiful. I agree so much. It is stunning. So I find myself, I can relate to this. You get so excited and you're watching, and then you struggle to type. I've had it a few times. Happened to me too, so I can relate beautifully to that. Let's quickly pan around again. Okay, so Phil, yes, the issue with ortho that I see on your system is basically just the space. The pilot, I have no idea what you're referring to. The coffin corner will be done, dude. No idea what that means. Yeah, so yeah, it's only the space. It's only the space that I foresee to be a bit of a problem. But you didn't say how much hard drive space you have, so you might have a 10 terabyte hard drive and we're all talking about space and you're sitting there giggling at us.
Oh, I know what the pilot means with the coffin corner. Let me explain shortly to you, Nico.
Okay.
It's when you're at really high altitudes, and then the airspeed, you could either overspeed or stall in a matter of seconds if your speed is not stable and you're heavy. And I think he's talking about the fact that we haven't seen this before in the Zibo, but I cannot talk about it because I don't know. But I think that's what he means.
Yeah, well, he's the pilot. You're welcome to clarify that, then maybe I can answer you. Don't know. And it's easy enough for me to send a message and get an answer. So I might not get it immediately, because I can tell you one thing: if poor Cloudy Box is still awake, he's knackered. He's gonna be wanting to sleep now. I mean, he was literally working through the night to get this APU going. He was gunning it now. I mean, really. Oh no, he's still awake. He's still talking. No, he's still there. Well, Cloudy, if you're looking at the stream, buddy, thank you so much. You went above and beyond what we could have expected. Thank you so much. Yeah, full that could be.
Yeah, it's very nice what they have done so far with the Zibo 737-800,
Yep.
as well as their future projects that are to come. It's just really enjoyable, and we're really thankful. I think all of us virtual pilots here for what they do for us and what they bring out.
No, for sure. The pilot, yes sir, I use Active Sky for X-Plane. I have tested almost all the others, and for me this is the best.
1,000 to go.
I honestly enjoy Active Sky very much. It is a phenomenal program. Well, guys, I suppose there's no point in me making a post about it now because Cloudy's made his own post. So if I can just ask you to go say thank you if you haven't done so, you know, that'll be appreciated. Thank you so much. No, I sound like him. So, if he's finished with that starter unit and Zibo can quickly integrate it into the update, hopefully we can see an update and a fix release a little later on. You guys must keep your eyes peeled, eh? Let me actually open the Google Drive here. Let's keep an eye on it. Let's see if it drops us a complete update now. Right, so I've got my Google Drive open. If I see something happening before you do, I'll let you know. Otherwise, you let me know. Right, so let's get rid of our seatbelt sign and tell the people we are level off.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again from the flight deck, we've leveled off now at our cruising altitude. We're going to go ahead and turn off the fasten seatbelt sign. I'd like to kindly ask if you are staying in your seats to keep those seatbelts comfortably fastened for your safety. Onboard computer showing an on.
Oh, he's still working on it. I can see he's still working on it. By the way, he's probably putting some more finishing touches on them. I was watching it when I left him earlier. He was putting the little fingerprint marks and the, you know, little bit of dirt on it and all. You guys will see. It's gonna look phenomenal. Okay, the pilot. Let's quickly answer your questions there. Just want to get the capture system changed quickly. Right, so if you guys see a little bit of tearing and weirdness on the screen, it's just because I'm capturing my actual screen and not just the game. So let's bring Active Sky here. Alright, so the first thing that happens when you install Active Sky is you need to create an account with Active Sky with Hi-Fi Sim, so that they can actually verify that you've got a legal copy, and they do their copy checks and things through that. So you're only allowed a single session at a time, and in every time you open it up, you're going to have to log into the system, you know, to authenticate yourself. The second thing that's going to happen is it's going to give you a little wizard to run through, and one of the most significant things it's going to ask you is, do you want it to update per weather station? So that's a weather station, that's a weather station, that one and that one. So, okay. In actual fact, those are the airports, but they are usually weather stations with it. Let's activate the stations and kill the airports. So there you go. Okay, that's the actual weather stations. So what happens is every time you get in a range of a weather station, it's going to then give the weather for that weather station into the sim. The other option is like old Explain used to work. It gives 1 meter and it completely changes the whole Earth. Whoop, one time you get the same weather all over. Some guys have said it works better that way. Some other guys say no, it works, you know, better this way. I personally have it on the setting where it changes with every weather station. Alright, so for me that's just my personal choice. Then secondly, what happens is on this side, you see there where it's highlighted. Now, those are textures. If I take the mouse away, you can read there. These are the textures. So if you go into textures, there's a little wizard that you can run. You've got two options. You can use high performance clouds or high resolution clouds. I personally use high performance. The difference in quality for me is not worth the price you pay in the loss of frames per second. When I use high performance, I have zero performance loss, nothing. It just works beautifully, and I mean it really looks good. Let's just have a quick look around here and look how nicely it puts it out for us. You know, Active Sky is really good at rendering weather. You know, that's the claim to fame it's always had in all the simulators. If you look there, look at the depiction of the clouds over there. I mean, that's basically what we're seeing over here. It's the same thing. So it's very, very accurate and it's very detailed. After that is done, there's one other prerequisite, and I see a lot of guys actually fail with this one. Just going to switch back to the normal display capture now. So when you go into your flight configuration and you go to your weather, Active Sky uses a custom weather meter file. Alright, and a lot of guys seem to have this weird notion that you've got to have this on the Explain real weather thing to get real weather, and the first thing that then happens is the two systems clash with each other and you bomb out. You know, then you get a weird influence of weather. I see we've got some weather there on the side. Let's just it's probably a bleed. You see there on the side it shows a little bit on the radar. It's not zooming in really. Okay, so what happens is once you run on that specific proper Active Sky meter, what you need to do is you need to switch off every other weather program, whether you've got NOAA running, the built-in Explain weather, any other weather plugin, including VATSIM and IVEA weather. You've got to go into the clients and you've got to switch them off, because otherwise it will clash with Active Sky. And that's the biggest problem I find with people, is they don't understand that they are themselves sabotaging themselves. So that's a pitfall that you need to look out for. Other than that, it's fire and forget. You start it up, it does the actual updates and everything itself. Let me show you that quickly. Let's get back to our display capture. Alright, so if you go into weather control over here, you've got live weather, which is now active, so it updates every 15 minutes or according to your schedule that you set up. You've got historical weather, so you can put the date and the time and a place and it will bring the weather for you. Or you can go to custom weather and you can actually make your own weather. Under all of these circumstances, you can load a weather file to go to any of the other modes, or you can save a weather file. If I like the weather where we are flying now, the live weather, I just save my file and then I can recall it for practicing something that you know, that I need to go and do. So if I want to really have bad visibility, I've got 1 or 2 files that I did save already, which you know, I fall back onto, and then I just go and fly there. So Mr. Pilot, I hope that answered some of your questions. If you want to know more, I can give you more detail, but then you need to be a bit specific.
Yeah, what I'd like to add to the active sky thing, I used to use it for prepared, when I used to be a prepared pilot, and it was always giving very accurate weather at that point. It linked with VATSIM as well if you're flying online on VATSIM.
Yes,
it's very
you
useful.
can set that, yes. Yeah.
But in general, it's just an amazing weather plugin. They translated it beautiful towards X-Plane, as far as I could see. Things are just really well. I mean, if you're flying a Category 3 ILS approach, you're really going to notice you're flying a Category 3,
Definitely.
because you won't see a thing. So only for that, kudos to them. And I think if your question on FPS as well is, you have this high performance option indeed, which is amazing. I think it really also depends on how the clouds are rendered, because they can kill a lot of FPS in the air.
Definitely.
So it's just something you have to keep in mind. For example, if you want to have beautiful clouds, you're gonna have to cut down a little bit on your settings on X-Plane, for example, if you don't have a very, very beefy PC, which most of the users don't have. So then you'd have to cut back a bit on the settings in X-Plane itself, so you could allow yourself to have better cloud setup. I always find it amazing though, if you think about it, how greatly the flight sim community has grown. If you compare it with, I don't know, 10 years ago or so, it's just really cool to see that many people got more interested in it.
Definitely. Pilot, it's up to you. I mentioned that in my explanation. You choose whether you wanted the old style where it updates the whole world, or whether it updates per local weather station. Yeah, no, we always try and help. You're welcome.
In my opinion, if you're flying online, especially if you're flying online, you might want to have the weather changing it locally rather than globally, because it would only matter for you as a pilot on the location where you are, and it would just save a little bit on calculation times, which would give you better frame rates in general as well. So
hey, we're at top of descent. Hey, I was busy enjoying this talk so much. I never did my pre
are you high on the profile?
Yeah, no, I haven't reached it yet, but we're almost on it. So we are like 5 nautical miles from it. Okay, so let's quickly run through a couple of things.
I can tell you, if you fly the 737 for sure, and if for a lot, and if you take it very seriously and build up some hours on it virtually, you start to know these checklists by heart.
No, of course. 14, 450. Right, we can come down to 450 on the side. Well, that'll be 500 then. So 400. That's fine. Alright, okay, we're going to do an RNAV approach, so we need to make pretty sure that we don't have active ILS frequencies. Yeah, no, those are VOR frequencies. Let's just change that one to 90.
You do want to have a VOR frequency tuned during an RNAV though, for a bit of navigation in case the RNAV would.
Yeah, we're not going to simulate any failure, so we don't care right now.
Oh no, it's just some kind of procedure. I do see that your VNAV works excellently.
Yeah.
It dives greatly for the profile. I think the descent rates are normal.
Yeah.
It's around 3,000 to 4,000 ish. That's fine.
Yeah, I forget. Look, my throttle interferes with my hardware throttle interferes with the aircraft throttle. So at this point in time, it's actually messed it up, William, in all fairness. But you'll see it's going to dive now, and then it will intercept it. If you review the video later, you will see the one engine was running while the other one was on idle. And that is something related to my hardware, unfortunately. And I keep on forgetting. The procedure for me, myself, is I pull back, you know, once I reach the cruise altitude, I put the hardware throttles on idle so that the VNAV actually runs everything from there on. And I, like we all know, I mean, my head is in the chat, so apologies for that.
No worries.
Alright, we need to go to 354. Oops, almost looking at the wrong charts. 354. This thing is fast, eh?
Yeah, she glides through the air with those split scimitars.
Yeah,
for sure.
Alright,
It's kind of the same effect as the normal winglet.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a bit annoyed with myself that I forgot to pull the levers back, but anyway, we'll compensate for that. I see the speed is stabilized because that's the way it should be, and now it's just it needs to just catch up with the VNAV profile. So
yeah, if you need to, you can also just use some level change, speed up a little bit, and use the speed brake.
But we're not going to worry about that right now. So, all right. I'm just looking through this chart. There's a couple of mandatory altitudes we need to be at. Ah, so it's got it. Virgo is 4,000 mandatory. Okay. So that one is wrong. See, there's one for 3,000, 3,000. So we're going to change this to right, yes. Okay, we had to do that because that was totally wrong. Right, so that's fine, and go back to this page. Then what we need to do is quickly set up flaps 30. Glide slope is on because we're going to use LNAV VNAV. And we need to go to the forecast. What is our transition level here? Transition altitude 12,000 feet. Wow, that's high. The pilot, no, I hung up my wings a while ago. At this point in time, I just fly sims.
Yeah, and for me, I'm not a pilot in real life either. I'm still too young and I still don't have the money for it, but I do have a lot of simulator experience, both real life sim, I've had a few, and also, of course, at home here on my PC.
Johan, it's not necessary. Let's have a look. See, you see, we've already caught up with it. We're waiting for the next step down, so we're perfect. We're okay. Right, I'm looking for the wind information so we can input the winds into the FMC there as well. Three, 2, 3 at 35. 337 at 26. And 356 at 27. And let's quickly get our QNH.
Lima, Tango, Foxtrot, Mike, airport information, India 1650, Zulu, weather, wind 084, at 6, visibility 10,000, sky clear, temperature 102.1, QNH 1023. Advise on initial contact, you have information, India. Lima, Tango.
Okay, so that's where we are at now, and we're going to start the zigzag shortly. Can't wait to see that.
Weather's looking good for Istanbul, normal conditions.
Yeah. Norman, why did you need to do correction in the FMC? Should all the values be imported with the route? You're talking probably about the altitude values. I'm not sure. As far as I'm concerned, it should be imported with whatever flight plan you import. But there was a mistake, and as the pilot in command, I have to do what I have to do. So I obviously checked the legs page, and I checked, the actual charts, and I found a discrepancy, which then forced me to make a change. And it's not as if I could just leave it. So good practice obviously is to always make sure that the legs detail and the charts are actually together. And common sense in this situation also told me that if we need to be at 4,000 feet at a specific point, but a previous waypoint was lower, then we're going to have a yo-yo effect, so that is just common sense that I had to do something. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Ooh, the pilot, that sounds awesome. Thank you so much. That's very, very generous of you, and good luck with that. Oh, excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you for the compliment. I have just over 6,000 hours on the 738 in the simulator, so I know a bit of things, and obviously because I deal with real world pilots basically every day of my life, I learn a lot about it. And I find listening to Cloudy Box helps a lot. Listening to Twixter helps a lot. And these are my mentors. These are guys I look up to, so I learn a lot from them, And thank you very much for subscribing.
Oh, I think Norman's question was about. I think you were talking about the route on the charts, but I think he was talking about why we are putting in those descent winds. Probably. Would you like me to answer that first?
Well, let Norman tell us. Norman, did I answer your question? Because the only correction I made on the FMC was the altitudes. The winds are a given. That's not a correction. So, Norman, if you can explain or tell us if I answered you. Otherwise, William is dying to answer you on the winds. So, your decision.
I just love it.
Exactly, Norman.
Yeah, that's correct. You should always look at those charts. Very important. I always encourage people that try to get into flight simming to start understanding charts and get altitude restrictions right. That helps.
Yeah, it's very important. I mean, if you look at the chart, let me bring that chart up quickly while the aircraft is doing its thing. You'll see there it's got an upper and a lower limit, and you've got to be between those two, to actually be legal at that point. Then you've got a 9,000 foot limit right there to be legal, and there's 9,000, and then you get the 3,000, which was wrong, so we changed it to 4,000, which is the upper limit. So it's all on the charts. Oh yeah. You have to look at the speeds. Let's actually quickly see what they say about the speeds.
Looking at this chart, I don't really expect any terrain, so it would rather be, I think, avoiding cities or something.
Yeah. Well, look at the lights below us. Man, this is... wow. Awesome. So I can imagine there's some noise abatement here in play.
Probably, yeah. Just like taking off your aircraft, you also are supposed to follow a noise abatement departure procedure.
Yeah, and arrival. I'm busy reading, see if I can pick up on anything here. I don't see anything specific unless I'm looking into my own eyelids. Let's just go back to this one.
I find it personally the most fun part for me is during the arrival to manage your engines on a way that it is noise abatement friendly.
Yeah.
Especially if you have to add thrust to maintain your speed. That's the hardest.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Oh, I'm glad that guy is ready. Let me just kill that application quickly. Norman, no my friend, we're not that lucky. I find problems on imported routes and even on man-made routes very often. I had a guy argue with me for more than 2 weeks about the fact that he was inputting the legs incorrectly, and eventually he gave up and he did what I told him. So you get all kinds, and unfortunately, that stuff you learn, in time. Oh yes, Johan, definitely beach parties, eh? These guys must be having a ball down there. Look at that, guys. Go grab these lights. They are
and
amazing.
It's free.
Yeah.
You can find on the forum, just type extended night lighting.
I'll give you the link quickly. I'm sure I can manage that.
Also, to add towards the routes and the altitude restrictions, etc., companies that do use the company routes, so that they just have to basically type in departure and destination ICAO, or depending on company procedure, they would still have to correct things like that when selecting their star, because it's not always fixed. Things are always variable, and so the values can be incorrect at many times, and they have to reference to the charts.
Oh, listen to my son. He's fighting. Hold on. But the pilot, thank you for the follow there. My son's playing Rust in the background and somebody killed him and he was upset. Shame.
Oh, I know that game. It's very frustrating.
Wow.
Also, if I can give you guys one piece of advice, if you are to fly an ILS approach, which Nico is not going to do in this example, he's going to fly the RNAV. But in case of an ILS approach, if you find that the course that is given in the FMC on the init ref page for your landing speed, if that course does not match with the course on the charts, always pick the course on the charts. It's assumed more correct than what the FMC has. So it's just a heads up that you might want to take in account.
Well, this is my first time flying into this airport and I'm excited. I can't wait.
Isn't that the new one they have built because the old one is closed?
Yeah, this is brand new.
Yeah, it should be interesting.
Alright, thank you, pilot. Thanks. Appreciate it. Norman, another thing which I mentioned a few times while giving training on this aircraft, and you can look at my training videos and stuff, is we must always remember, as flight simmers, we are doing, as a single crew member, a 2-crew CRM based job that's supposed to be done by 2 crew members. You know, so if you look at the checklists that I created, that is in my hangar, that you find a link to underneath this video. Pilot, I forgot to mention this, you might not know this, so if you look at the description below the video, there's a link to my private hangar. It's got all kinds of goodies in there, so you can feel free to go and download and use. And some of them are checklists. And while doing those checklists, I made a comment on page 1 there that we need to realize that some things have to change. You can't do it exactly as in the real aircraft because you're one guy. You're just a single person now trying to do the job of 2 people. So you guys must also always remember that kind of thing. Let's have a look, see how that looks better.
What I also quite enjoy, and what actually was an approach that I flew yesterday, is a VOR approach, especially if you're not coming straight onto the runway, but a bit from a shallow angle, which it really makes it a bit more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's all looking good there, Nico. Very nice.
Thank you so much. Wow, look at these lights. My goodness. Wow. Hey, Cloudy Box, thank you, sir. Thank you for visiting us, and thank you for all your hard work. We were talking about you, thinking of you all the time that this flight's been going on. I hope you have a good rest, my friend, and that God will bless you for all the hard work that you've done for us. Thank you so very much. Yeah, the guys on here love you, mate. You need to know that. And I hope that gives you some warm, fuzzy feeling in your heart, mate. Some nice feeling. You deserve the rest, eh? I hope you go straight to bed and that you get all the rest in the world, man. You really deserve it. Thank you so much. Liam, what an entrance. As long as you're happy, buddy. Okay, yeah, Cloudy, that makes sense. Well, you're welcome to hang around here with us in the background. We'll keep you company. I see we've got a deceleration point ahead of us. We'll see where we need to decelerate to. I see 220. Well, we are at 220, so it's not going to be much of a difference. Yeah, I had my dinner, but that sounds good. Yeah, Cloudy, I must talk to you about this. This is the extended night lights. If you scroll back a little bit higher, you'll see the link to the org page. This is awesome, man. This is something unbelievable. Check this. So what we do is we load the Tom Knudsen nightlights and then we add the extended nightlights, and then it looks like this. And there's the airport, guys. Look at that. This is amazing. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, Pilot, and we were talking about, you know, in real life, ATC will probably direct you to FAF, but we're here for the show, we're here for the ride, so we're enjoying the journey, man. Oh, these lights, I've never seen X-Plane looks like this, and I've always been in love with night lighting, but this is next level. Yep. I took the time this morning and I just whacked a whole bunch of them and got them and put them into X-Plane.
Right, Nico, you're looking good. Almost on the final approach. Still a while. But how are you?
How are you? And then you cut out.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice to see.
The pilot, I can do that for you. There you go. If you go into my private hangar, the link below the video, you will find in the X-Plane 11 folder there is some settings, and then if you go into the Zibo folder, into the installation manual that I wrote, all my settings are there as well. Wow, look at these lights. I'm gonna say wow a couple of times more, I suppose. My pleasure. And as a matter of interest, I'm doing 31 up to 33 frames per second right now.
How much frames you running, sorry?
31 to 33.
Perfect.
Oh, come on. Yeah, true, true. I was looking at the charts. I mean, we're gonna zoom past the terminal, go to the other end of the runway, then taxi back. It's gonna be fun.
Are you planning on doing a single engine taxi in, or are you just gonna
No,
use two?
it's 2 engines.
Okay.
Yeah, beautiful full.
Another approach, talking about the UK, what I really enjoy is landing on Liverpool.
Oh yeah. I haven't landed there in a while. Like, wow, just look at this.
That's the airport at 12 o'clock, isn't it?
Nope. That is the airport at 11.
Okay.
The one here in front of us is the old one,
Okay.
as far as I know. Thanks, Jules.
They're really close to each other then.
Very. For sure, the different colors in the lights are awesome. Okay, I better get my feet close to these rudders and get ready. Alright, so we arm the speed brakes. Didn't have much use for them tonight, so they armed. Auto brake 1 should be fine. Gear almost down.
Are your start switches to continuous? Because I forgot to do.
Yes.
Alright, cool.
Right, so there we go. LNAV and LNAV and VNAV is active. Phil, you and me both. This is stunning.
Still need to turn on your seatbelt sign, so it's set to auto, so you need to
Oh
secure
man.
those.
Yeah, you know. God,
Or you don't worry about it too much.
that's the FO's job.
Nah, true. Interesting question. Phil asks no gear yet.
Oh, I've just set them down. Just released them. You know, I'm so good. I can actually say it backwards as well. Wow. Jules, no, I don't use Max FX. What I do use is X-Vision. I've got Tom Knudsen lights loaded, and then I've got extended lights. The link is a little bit up in the chat. If you scroll back up in chat, you'll see the extended night lights in conjunction. So those three things is what makes the magic here tonight.
That's something to Phil's question. Phil, if you're going to put your gear down, you want to be established at around 5 to 4 miles with your flaps and your landing gear, etc. So
Yeah.
you want to be through the landing checklist.
Sure, but I let them go down a bit early. I let them down at about 10.
2500.
Yeah, of course, there's no rush if you're flying offline.
Yeah, no. I'm enjoying this ride.
You get more time to enjoy the view at this point.
Yeah.
I'd say good luck on the landing. Enjoy it.
Yeah. Thanks, Jules.
Winds are currently 110 at 6 knots, variable 070140.
Thank you so much. And the pilot says there, we'll open our gears in 2 mile short finals. Wow. That's short. I usually do it about 5 to 7 miles. That's where I usually do it. But I let them go at about 10 this time. Look at this.
Also depends on how hard you want to slow down.
Yeah. Whew. The pilot, let's see if we can do that. I don't know. I'm gonna do my best to do a soft landing. I'm not sure how soft. It might be a bit harder than that. Look at this. Look at this.
Looking for a safe landing.
Yeah.
1,000 feet stabilized, Mr. Birch altitude set.
Oh, what is the Mr. Birch altitude? I'm gonna check. 4,000. Whew, this thing counts fast. There you go. Right, so at minimums, it's going to kick us off anyway. We are so nicely established. I don't even mind doing a bit of work myself.
Your flaps are at 25 currently.
Thank you so much.
30.
Yeah. Going down to 30.
Approaching 3-5 right.
Okay, autopilot's off. Let's see if I can land this thing after flying so much GA now in the past 2 days.
Approaching minimums. 500. Minimums. 400.
One, 113. Sounded like they clapped there, eh?
Great landing.
Thank you.
Right, Nico, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to go now. Someone calling me.
Okay,
Thanks for
William.
letting me hang out with you. And
No
to the
worries.
viewers, thank you for all the questions. I hope you enjoyed this stream. And make sure you leave us up, he deserves.
Oops, pressed the button too many times. Thank you, Pilot, and thank you, Norman, and Jules. Thank you very much. Phil, thank you. Box, thank you very much. Much appreciated. Scuba Cruiser. Oh, thank you so much. Right, let's get those guys off. You guys can come off. The wrong way. The wrong way. Right, and let's start the AP. Right, let's do some cleaning up. Jules, you too, my friend. Thanks for stopping by. Much appreciated. Right, so I'm going to just park off somewhere and then we're going to do some replays. I hope you guys don't mind, but I really am dying to see the replay here. Right, so I am unfamiliar with this area, this airport as such. I'm just taxiing where I think I should. Yeah, Phil, let me know. It's getting a bit late for tonight. I might not make it tonight, but tomorrow is a holiday here in South Africa, so I'm definitely going to be here around somewhere. Probably do at least one more flight and then do a little bit of work. There are actually a couple of things I need to do for work to prepare for the new week. So, but let me know. Let me know. %. Alright, so I'm not going to fiddle with the lights and everything. In fact, I want to put it back to flight configuration so that we have a nice show when we actually land. Fortunately, there aren't any ground crew that's going to get blinded right now. Gaming Days, welcome, hello. There we go. Alright, brake set. Let's get these lights back in place. Right, so after this landing, guys, if you have a special angle or a special place you want to go stand to watch the landing, I'll do 1 or 2 more replays, and that will be the end of the stream after that. And if you have questions, now is the time. And while we've got Cloudy Box here, guys, if you want to hear from him and ask specific questions, please feel free. This is the time, guys. I love these animations. Oh, Cloudy, if we can't answer them now, we'll answer them by mail or something, in the morning. But I think, there's bound to be a question or two. Shame, you must be really tired. I feel so bad for you. I mean, I hope you get this thing sorted very soon. That's a nice question, Paul. Cloudy, did you get that? Paul asked you a question. What is it that drives you so much? Perfectionists, perhaps? Ooh, that's a good question. Can you guys make the EFB to actually move up and down as well instead of just left and right? Yeah, I know that feeling. It's a good one. Man, this scenery is amazing. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It looks lovely. Well, gents, if that is the end of the questions, then I thank you so much for joining us, and it's awesome having you here. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow, doing at least one more flight. If you guys can make it, cool. If not, we'll see each other next weekend. And remember, the other ordinary and fun flights and all the horsing around happens on Twitch. So if you look for me during the week, that's probably where you will find me most of the time. So we'll chat there as well. But for now, I bid you adieu, and I'm gonna go and do a couple of other things. So enjoy the rest of your weekend. How many hours is left, and so on. Bye for now. Okay, I see there's another question. Cloudy, if you're around, one more question. It's a pleasure, guys.